And it's very difficult for a lot of people to separate emotion from making rational decisions. As you said, the FOMO. I don't want to miss out. God, I saw on the news that gold hit an all-time high. Dang it, I don't own any. I should go out and buy some. He had almost 1,000 silver rounds, and then he pulls out of his pocket 4 tubes and when it hit the glass, it made a terrible noise. He said, "The hell you are," and he stormed out.
The price of gold is continuing to push over that all-time high of over $2,100 per ounce. And many people are excited and buying gold today, but not everybody. This coin shop owner that we are speaking with today says that many people are coming into his shop and selling while gold prices are high. How is that affecting the market and premiums? Well, we're going to find out right now. Are you subscribed yet? Don't forget to go down below and make sure you are by clicking like and subscribe. There is a lot going on this week. Gold and silver prices have been moving up, but even more importantly, gold has hit an all-time high. Now, the other day I did a video calling coin shops to find out what they were actually selling 1-ounce gold coins for, but when I asked Josh what the sentiment in his store was, he said that he was worried a lot of people might sell. Josh, I gave it a couple of days after that text to see what happened. Do me a favor and tell me what's been going on in your shop. What is the sentiment? What have people been saying? And have people been selling?
Yes, and yes. The sentiment, as I mentioned in that text message, you asked me how are people feeling about the high price in gold. I said some are disappointed, some are excited. Those that are disappointed are those that are trying to continue to stack and maybe didn't have enough finances or monetary backing to add as much to their stack at lower prices. So they're a little frustrated that gold's touched an all-time high now. But on the other hand, those that have been holding gold in their stack, waiting for a certain price point to liquidate, those are the people that are excited. So, today's Wednesday, just in the Monday and Tuesday days in my shop, I had several people call, prearrange, come in and liquidate gold. I also had several people come in and buy gold for the first time in their life when it was at an all-time high. And that's a phenomenon that always happens. It's so predictable. As metals charge up, and especially gold lately, touching an all-time high several times, you're going to get those people that get excited about it for the first time. Oh, wow, gold's at an all-time high. Maybe I should go buy some. Not necessarily the best strategy, but it happens a lot. It's very predictable. And sure enough, just yesterday, on Tuesday, I had 3 different people come in the shop, and they told me that they're buying gold for the first time. And all 3 walked out with gold. So interesting. At least they own some gold, but they did choose the all-time high time up to this point to pick some up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nominal all-time high because obviously there's other points in history where adjusted for inflation, it's higher than what it is today. But still, it's interesting to see, like you had said. I think there's this element of FOMO, and in a perfect example. And you know me, I'm not a crypto guy, but I have dabbled in it to buy and sell here and there when I thought I could time the market and try and make some extra money that I could then put into gold and silver. But the same thing I see with crypto as when crypto was down, like, when it was in the 15, 20K area for like the last, before this last run up, nobody ever commented on my channel, not once, about Bitcoin or you should be buying Bitcoin, not gold and silver. But sure enough, as you see it go up 40, 50, 60, every single video, I get 4 or 5 people commenting gold is stupid, buy Bitcoin, so on and so forth. And I think it's just right, answer this for me. And I don't want to take this whole conversation. This is me talking to you, but there's an element of FOMO there. People see it going up and they want to catch that wave on the way up. And to me, that's really not the right way to do it. It doesn't matter if it's crypto or gold or silver. I prefer to buy it when it's down. I think when it's not in the news, when people aren't really excited about it, that's usually the best time to buy. I don't know. Let me know what you think, though.
Yeah, I 100% agree. The problem is we're humans and we're emotional. And it's very difficult for a lot of people to separate emotion from making rational decisions, not just in buying crypto or gold or silver, but in life in general. And as I said earlier, I see it all the time in the shop. People are coming in based on emotion. As you said, the FOMO. I don't want to miss out. God, I saw on the news that gold hit an all-time high. Dang it, I don't own any. I should go out and buy some. If you actually analyze what you just said to yourself, you could probably easily talk yourself out of buying it at an all-time high. But there again, I had a lot of traffic in here, people buying gold, and not those three particular first timers that told me they don't own any gold and they're excited. Here's my budget. What can I buy? I had other people coming in buying gold also. One thing I didn't touch on much was the selling. I mentioned in that text to you that you flashed in your previous video that I think we're on the cusp of a large sellback surge. Well, we are. It's not just happening to me, but a lot of my dealer friends as well. So, for instance, just within the last week, this was before gold touched the intraday, or the closing day, I should say, all-time high, the first time on Friday. Just in the last week, the last 7 days, I have bought nearly $100,000 worth of metal across the counter. Probably 75% of it has been gold.
Wow.
So there's been a lot of people that kind of bought and held, and maybe, I don't know if they had a specific number in mind, but as it hit certain thresholds, that was their trigger to liquidate. And all sorts of different things have trickled into the shop. I mean, I bought 2 tubes of 1 ounce gold Canadian maple leaves. I had an individual come in. First, they called me and asked if I bought silver. I said, well, sure, of course. And I gave him a quote. And he said, well, I have about 400 silver rounds. Well, he shows up. Well, actually, I have more than I thought, and I brought gold too. Oh, well, do you have it with? He said, yeah, it's in the car. So I said, well, how much do you have? He said, well, it'll take a couple trips. So I gave him a cart. He wheeled it out, wheeled it back in. He had almost 1,000 silver rounds, which no problem. We had already agreed on a price. I bought his silver rounds. And then he pulls out of his pocket 4 tubes of 1/10 ounce gold Britannias.
Oh,
so he had 100 1/10 ounce gold coins in his pocket that I wasn't prepared to buy at that point because I thought he was just coming in with silver. So those are just a couple instances. So, and that's just in the last 7 days. So, and I know my shop isn't alone. Speaking with other dealer friends, speaking with Dave from Coin Huskers, he's in the Omaha area. He's had other coin dealers coming to him and dumping excess product, mostly gold. And quite frankly, I shipped a box of gold to Dave as well to free up some cash because I'm buying more than I want to have in inventory. Because
Wow.
even though I did say gold is selling, it's coming in quicker than it's going out. So a lot of people are in that situation where we're getting inundated with material or product, and it's mostly gold because there again, the Fomo, it's the sexy thing. It's in the news, so people are realizing, wow, I bought this gold for $1,300. I can cash out for $21. So there's people selling. So what that's doing to premiums, it's having a negative effect. So buyback premiums have really, really dipped. Not just what I'm paying, but what anybody's paying. And we can talk more about that if you have questions.
Well, sure. I mean, a couple of things. First off, just from a, I need to know this perspective, I've owned a full tube of 1/10 ounce gold eagles. I've never owned a tube of 1/10 ounce Britannia. So those come in tubes of 25?
They do.
Okay.
I'd never seen a full tube of those either. It was unusual, but yeah, they're tubes of 25.
Okay, well, let's get on to the important thing, though. I just had to ask that question. All right, so so first things first, like you had said, there are people buying, but a lot of people selling. So you could basically say not everybody's selling, but everybody's selling, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
When we talk about people selling gold and silver, when they bring, and this is, I think, what a lot of people don't understand in the physical market, and I would love for you to touch on this. When you have a lot of people bringing in physical gold and silver to coin shops and selling at the coin shops, people are like, oh, well, the spot price should be going down, right? Well, no, because those physical sales don't really affect the paper market. They do not affect the COMEX. So, like you said, what is being affected, though, is premiums. So let me ask you this. You have a lot of people selling gold and silver. You said you had the one guy sell you 1,000 ounces of silver. You had the 4 tubes of 10th ounce Britannias. You had the 2 tubes of 1 ounce gold maples. Josh, the thing that people love about you on this channel, and this is why I have you on all the time, is you're one of the most honest coin dealers I've ever talked to. What did you buy those for? People love it because you are not afraid to tell people what you actually pay. What were you able to pay for those?
Yeah, I'm always very transparent. Well, and bear in mind, everybody, these are prices this week or within the last week. And as I've said, buyback prices have went down. The Maple Leafs I actually bought at 98.5%. So that's 1.5% back of spot.
Wow.
And how did I arrive at that number? Well, first of all, if somebody brings in 20 gold Maple Leafs, I'm probably not going to hold all those in the store just to sell them onesies and twosies. It might take me 2 months unless somebody wants to come in with a big order. So I have to start checking around, well, what are the wholesalers paying? So wholesalers were paying 99%. So I bought them at 98.5%. I think I paid, and this was at the time, this was about a week ago, I paid 2015. So you can reverse engineer the math. Gold was maybe at 2050 or something like that. So, but they were very happy with the price. Went ahead and bought it. And coincidentally, I liquidated all of those as well immediately. Just I found some local buyers that I actually sold to them what I paid for it. And I've done that a few other times to some of my bigger buyers. Essentially, they help buy the deal. And they love that because they're able to get cheap bullion.
Yeah.
We've done that with big silver orders as well. So that was an easy one. And like I said, it was some very good customers, and I kind of use them to help buy bigger deals sometimes because they like to do that. What else did you ask me about? Silver rounds. The silver rounds, I paid 25 cents back of spot. Now, there's only 2 times in my life that I can remember that I've ever bought large amounts of silver bullion under spot, because I always pay aggressively, at least I feel I do. And compared to some numbers I hear from other people, that just confirms what I just said. But having said that, I had a big deal, and I think we talked about it. It was like 4,000 ounces come in maybe a month ago. Well, I had to liquidate a lot of that. So I figured I better check with wholesalers what wholesalers were paying. And I think they were paying about 25 cents back of spot. So that's what I bought these silver rounds at. 25 cents back of spot, which is less than I could order them from a wholesaler. But somebody walks in and dumps 1,000 ounces on you. Depends on cash flow. Well, can I sit on these and try to sell them, or do I need to liquidate them to get cash back in the account? So that always plays into it. And then the 1 10th-ounce gold Britannias, I paid over spot because they're smaller. They're fractional. I believe it was 2.5% over spot, so I paid 102.5%. I forget what the exact number was that I paid, but that was the percentage. So back of spot on 1 ounce gold and silver in quantity like that, but a little bit over spot on fractional gold. And that's really typical based on what I know other dealers are paying right now. That's what you're going to see in the market. There's actually opportunity for me to buy from other dealers excess inventory. Now I'm talking gold mostly under spot.
Yeah.
So if they're going to sell it to me at 1 or 2% under spot, what did they pay for it? Do they pay 95%? Did they pay 92%? So that's what I mean. Buybacks are tanking. The price you're going to get for your metal in this type of market is not as much as you normally would if things were more normal, I would say, because there's so many people that are selling.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that. A couple points I want to bring up / ask. First, when you say that, you had to pay back a spot for silver, it's totally understandable. I think what a lot of people, in the comments, that I see on some of my other videos don't realize is, they're like, why would coin shops even sell gold and silver if they don't believe in money? Well, like we have said, you and I have actually discussed this. I mean, you can't pay your bills with gold and silver right now. So, and you have all these people bringing in this gold and silver, and they want cash as well. And you don't have an infinite amount. Your name's not Elon Musk, right? So, yeah, of course you have to liquidate. Right. Yeah, you have to liquidate some of it. So you go out to these wholesalers and you have to base what you're buying for on what they're paying so that you can move it. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting on it with a bunch of gold and silver and no cash in a market where there's more sellers than buyers, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people don't understand that in this market. I think the other thing I wanted to bring up is you had talked about what you paid back a spot for silver rounds. I think that's fair. I've seen some instances. I was watching this YouTube video a while ago. I'm not going to say who it was. I'm not going to say the channel. I'm not going to say anything other than when the market was really strong, when we had premiums on silver eagles north of $10, $12 an ounce. I watched in a YouTube video a coin dealer paid $20 a piece for a tube of silver eagles. So I'm not even kidding. I cannot believe that the creator put that in the video. You know what I mean? I'm like, why would you not cut that out? If you like your dealer, why would you not because, you know, why would you not do that? But I don't, just blew my mind. But yeah, that's exactly what happened. So it's just, you know, I think that's why people love you, Josh, is you're just so honest about the market, and you're not afraid to say, yeah, I had to pay back a spot. You know, a lot of people would be like, oh yeah, I paid $1 over spot for those 1 ounce rounds, but you know, you're honest about it. And I love that. So thank you.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I'm happy to get the information out there to people so they understand. You know, I know there's a lot of people in our profession that get a bad rap. You know, there's most and almost all dealers that I've ever had any interactions with in my career, which is about 10 years now, 10 years this month, have been positive. There's a lot of great, honest people in this profession. The problem is there's a few not so great ones, and they kind of sour it and spoil it for everybody else. They spoil the people's opinions on a coin dealer. You can make the same argument about a lawyer or a doctor, but it's really unfortunate that there are some bad apples out there, but most dealers are good, but it always pays to get a second opinion. And we've talked about this many times. So if you're in a situation where you need to sell or you're looking to buy, shop around. It's very important. So
yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. You know, let me ask you this. I mean, you know, gold sitting at all-time highs. We don't give financial advice on this channel, but what are you doing? Are you waiting to see what happens with gold? Are you adding more to your stack, or are you just kind of doing the dealer thing right now?
In terms of gold, I'm just buying and selling it in the shop. I truly have not added gold to my own personal stack for over a year.
Okay.
I'm just stacking silver. So that's a personal preference.
Yeah.
But granted, there's been opportunities where I've bought cheap gold in the shop, or, you know, cheap relative compared to spot. And by cheap, I mean under wholesale, where I could have added cheaply to my stack, but I'd rather turn that into silver and add it to the stack instead. So just a personal opinion. I do want to touch on something quick.
Oh yeah, please.
And we've talked about it before in videos, and others have as well, but it's important to bring this up. I had an individual come in the shop yesterday. They had called the day before on Monday, showed up Tuesday, right when I first opened. I'd never seen the person before, older gentleman. He wanted to sell some gold. First, when I talked to him on the phone, he said 20 ounces of gold. Then he changed it to 10. Well, then he showed up and he only had 8 ounces. So he said, yeah, I want to sell some gold. I said, okay, no problem. So I grabbed my Sigma Metalytics precious metal verifier. It's been on this channel before, and you're familiar with what those are, and your viewers probably are too.
Mm-hmm.
And he started questioning me, well, what's that? So I explained what the machine was. And while it was booting up and calibrating, we were engaging in small talk. He starts pulling the gold out of his pockets, and he starts putting it on my glass display case. Well, the first thing he pulled out was a 1 ounce gold PAMP Swiss bar on an assay card. And when it hit the glass, it made a terrible noise.
Oh,
I mean, it did not sound like gold. It had like a tinny ping to it. Didn't say anything. Watched him take out the rest of the stuff. He laid out a gold buffalo, still in the cellophane. You know how the U.S. Mint put out gold buffaloes? They were in like the cellophane holders.
Yep.
He had gold. He had 1 ounce gold eagles. He had some certified half-ounce gold eagles. So the first thing I test is this gold bar, and we're just talking while I'm doing it. Right away, comes out bad. I mean, the arrows are in the red. It's not a good, authentic gold bar, as I had suspected based on the sound it made when it hit my glass. So I said, well, where did you get this? He said, oh, I bought it from, and then he mentioned the other coin shop in Minot, which is now closed. I bought it from so-and-so 10 years ago in Minot here. I said, oh, okay, well, gold shouldn't sound like this. So I took it off my verifier, kind of clanked it on the glass like he did when he first set it down. He said, oh, the sound doesn't matter. I said, well, it actually does, but here, I'll show you. So I put it back on the verifier, flipped it around, and explained to him how the machine reads it and that it's bad. He did not want to hear that. He said, so you're not going to buy that one? I said, no, I mean, I can't buy fakes. I wouldn't be interested in it. He said, well, if you're not going to buy that one, you're not going to buy any of these. Swoops them all up and storms out. And I said, sir, I'm trying to help you. He said, the hell you are. And he stormed out. So I'm like, wow. And I was so nice to him,
right,
explaining him, like I said, how the machine works. So here's my take on it. I don't think he knowingly bought a fake gold bar. I have a feeling the dealer that sold it to him probably also did not know it was fake because he didn't have the testing equipment that I have. So be aware, everyone, where you're buying from. If your coin shop can't test the gold they're selling you, you better have a lot of faith and trust in them because mistakes can happen. But this isn't the first time I've had fake gold come in the shop. I have fakes come in weekly, it seems like lately, and it's just crazy. But as I said, this guy was very adamant that I must be wrong and my machine is lying and it's real. And so needless to say, I did not buy those 8 ounces of gold, which is fine. I'm in a position where I would happily have bought those from him. But as I just said, I don't need the gold right now. I mean, I'm just, I can maybe flip it and wholesale it and make $100, but I have to outlay, 17 grand to make $100. Is it worth it at that point?
Right.
No, but I would have done it. But there again, I'm here to provide a service, but he didn't want my services, so it was frustrating.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, and I feel bad for the guy because if you were right and he really didn't knowingly, buy that gold bar fake, then he's going to be really disappointed when he goes elsewhere and hears the same thing. So
exactly, yeah, and I had told him, and I called other people that do this in my region at least to kind of warn them, and neither of them even buy gold bars because they don't have the equipment.
Right.
So I don't know where he's going to sell them, but.
Yeah,
good luck to him, I suppose.
I'm not a big fan of gold bars, especially the ones in the assay, because outside of a Sigma or an XRF gun, you don't even really have a good way to test them. I mean, right. At least with Eagles and Cougarans and Maples and Buffaloes, they have a specific diameter and thickness. They have a very specific sound. So there's a bunch of different ways you could verify those are real that you unfortunately could not do with those bars. So I tend to stay away from those myself. I don't know.
Yeah, man. Me too. I don't own a gold bar in my stack either.
Yeah, it's not like the premium difference between a gold bar and say a 1 ounce gold maple is major. I mean, it exists, but it's what, $20 maybe difference, 25?
Yeah, I was gonna say around 1%, maybe 1.5%, depending. Yeah, it's not a lot.
Yeah, for that kind of money, I'd rather just have the actual maple at that point, but. Unfortunate. Well, Josh, I think we'll probably cut it off here, but I think we'll probably have you on a little bit sooner than we normally do, depending on what the market does, because if it continues to ride up, as of this morning, it's still up. It's not down. There could be a lot of exciting stuff happening in the world of gold and silver over the next few weeks. So if I have Josh on a little bit quicker than the next 2 weeks, guys, you'll know why. I'm not saying I will, but you'll know why if I do.
We shall see.
For sure. Guys, do me a favor, though. As always, I just want to let you know, and you probably already know this, but Josh has his own YouTube channel, and it's a fantastic one. I'm going to put a link for it down below. He owns a coin shop in Minot, North Dakota called Minot Coin and Bullion. Make sure you check him out. And Josh, thank you again for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you all so much. It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely. Anytime. We'll see you soon.